Hello my friends, this is Jack. He's the boy that makes all the noise in my videos. So I brought him in here with me and see if he's a bit quieter. Wanted to give you an update on my moss pole project. Let me just put him on the floor. So I got one of these frames, whatever they're called, that you put moss in and your plant obviously climbs up the moss pole. Now, I've seen a lot of videos, I've read a lot of information on the internet, people saying about how fantastic moss poles are, but you should always keep them wet. At no time should these be allowed to dry out. People were nearly watering theirs every day. Now, I can't be arsed to do anything like that. I got better things to do with my time than water a bloody moss pole. And then you've got to work out how to do it, how you're going to spray it with water and everywhere around it's going to get wet. It's just a total pain in the arse. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to waste my time buying expensive moss and timing myself every day, check the moss, check if it's still wet and all the rest of it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and get some of that moss that's out the back of the garages behind the house. It's fell on the ground, off the roofs. Oh, may as well use it. So I've got a couple of buckets of that. I've got about 4 of these. Shoved all this moss off the ground into them. Put them in buckets of rainwater and just whatever. I'm not particularly bothered about it. I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter if it's dry. If it dries out completely, it doesn't matter because it still looks all right. It still looks like moss. And this in here, it's dried. It's dried out. You can see it's dried out. But I've seen people online and they've even put like bark chips in the moss poles and soil and what's that stuff, the coconut coir, whatever it's called. They've even shoved that in there. And I just, why do it to yourself? Why make work for yourself? Why you have to water this all the time to keep it wet? Why? What's the point? Anyway, this is an update on mine. So these bits here, these are the aerial roots and they start to grow into the moss. Obviously, looking at the back, there's no roots. No roots from the monstera have grown into that yet. But you can see there's a gap here, obviously where it's dried, it shrunk back in. Well, that's all right, whatever, it can do what it wants. It's still got the grill from that to hold on to, and the aerial roots will find its way. They will find their way. I can see here, I don't know whether you can there, just there's 2 aerial roots that are starting to branch out. Can you see there? Just 2 little notches. So they're trying. There's one there, I think. I don't know how long it is, not very long, I don't think. And there's one. Oh, don't think you can see it very well, can you? No, not really. But there is one that has started to grow into it. Whether it's grown into the moss yet, but I don't think it has from what I can see up the side here. But I think you'll agree, it still looks like, it looks as though it's still alive, moss pole. It's not, it's totally dead. Totally dry, never been watered. I've wrapped cling film all around the bottom, so it's not going to be drawing water up from the medium from the lacquer, because this is in lacquer, this. It's in leca clay balls. So the water is at the bottom and it's wicking its way up, and I don't want the moss pole to get any of the water that's intended for the plant, because that would just be a nightmare. So I've put cling film all around the bottom of that, wrapped it right round, and so hopefully it's the barrier between the leca and the plant. So I think it looks all right. It seems to be, the leaves seem to be a nice size and it's growing up quite well. So all in all, it's not bad, not a bad experiment. I was expecting when the moss was dying off and shrinking back, that it would make a mess. It hasn't. However, I have noticed, and this must be where they're coming from, it's the only place that they could be coming from, is there's some fungus gnats. Because all the plants I've got in the front room now are in leca. I'm going to have to get that with the fly spray or something. And maybe just put some sticky traps around. I could also put some, I've got some palm, which is like little gravelly bits. I could always put those on the top, because it does the same as leca, but it should stop the gnats going into the leca if that's what they are doing. But I don't think they would, because it's not what they do, is it? They live in the soil. So I don't know. All in all, I think it looks quite good. If anybody's got any advice on dealing with gnats that are in a moss pole, please get in touch and let's help each other and be nice and be kind. There's no need to be nasty in this day and age. There's enough crap going on in the world as it is.